Hi, I'm Dana. You know what we're doing when it looks like this. I know what we're doing. I don't want to. Fuck, we're doing it. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but see, the thing is that I don't have fucking anything to talk about because all I've done is that Birmingham trip. I know. Oh, Otis is using the litter box right now. Yeah, that's all I did, and obviously, like, I was already coming into burnout. The last thing I needed was a trip that went wrong and caused me a load of panic and a meltdown. So I'm just fucking done. I've had like 3 baths, still ache. Spent a small fucking fortune on various like muscle relaxing bath soaks, deep penetration, like fucking all sorts of bollocks from like Radox and shit. None of them have done anything. Bought this leather skirt that I then like just like fucking balled up so now it looks like shite. I'm not having a good time. I'm not enjoying life. I'm not enjoying being alive. I really need to get back to my friend that takes me to Halifax so that I can at least get that trip planned for March so I have something to look forward to. Because right now, I've got shit all to look forward to. I've got shit all I'm enjoying. It's not fun. I'm not, you know, like I'm just about managing to keep up with like the house stuff, like doing the dishes, scooping the litter tray, making my bed in the morning. It's been ever so too long since I last changed my bed sheets. That's getting pretty gross, but I do not have the energy to change my bed, and I don't see, like, I do care, but also like I don't have the energy to care about it, you know? Like, I don't have the energy to do it, and I sure as fuck don't have the energy to care that I don't have the energy to do it. We're just doing what we can and trying to make the most of shit. I think, to be fair, not having to dart around my fucking massive laundry pile every time I come up the stairs will probably be helpful. It'll probably be nice, won't it? That's the thing, is like, I have to like really gather up my strength and energy and fucking everything to actually get a thing done. And then I'm like, oh, I feel so much better for doing that. But it's so hard to actually get it done. And like, this video is most likely going to be late because I'm filming this at like fucking 2 PM. Because I'm sleeping ridiculous fucking hours. I had my little period where I was sleeping like fucking 12 hours at a time, and now I just don't get tired until like 4 or 5 AM, and I'm just laying in bed trying my best to sleep and having fuck all fucking happen, just laying there and laying there and laying there, and I hate it. I absolutely hate just laying there with my own thoughts, just not falling asleep, you know? And especially when like I have my little like nighttime routine, I have the things that I do and they've always worked, and all of a sudden it don't make any fucking difference. And like I said, I've got nothing to look forward to, and that's one of my big things, is I always try to have things like booked in advance, so I have a thing that I'm like, I need to keep myself alive until then. I've already paid the money for it, like that's what I'm doing next, that's my next thing. And for the last like year, that's been my Dean Andrews thing in Birmingham, and now I've done that and I don't have another thing. So I need to figure something out. I'm sorry, this is off topic to what we're talking about, but it also really pisses me off that I really want to move to Yorkshire. I don't even fucking care which part of Yorkshire, because I'm just like, if I can get a train half an hour to go for like one of my little Yorkshire hill walks, instead of having to like organise months in advance for someone to drive me there and get me a hotel room overnight, I really think I would just be a much fucking happier, more stable person, to be completely honest with you. And I also found it so much easier to like speak to and communicate with people while I was there. And I don't see, that's the thing, is I make it sound like it's a big deal, and it is and it isn't, because it's the area that I live in is fucking horrible, and the people here, I've never met anyone fucking like them. And I always think that I'm just being a bit dramatic and over exaggerating because I hate the area, but then I go to other places and people are completely fucking different to the people that I'm around in the area that I'm in. And I'm like, oh no, I hate the area because of the way the people are, and the people around here are fucking weird in a really bad way. Like, I've always been called weird, and I would say that most of my friends are quite weird in a really, really good way, you know? It's quite often, I quite like a weird person, but they're just weird in the worst way ever, where like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, last time I was in town, you walk into the Asda, you go and get a basket, because that's how I do a shop, and they've put the baskets there. So I walked towards the baskets, and some man just walked straight into the side of me, looked at me like, you fucking silly cunt, and carried on walking, you know? And it's stuff like that all the time where I go to other places and I'm waiting for people to like be weirdly horrible for no fucking reason, because that's genuinely what happens in the area that I'm in. And it is a little bit better and nicer in Liverpool, but like this is controversial. I don't think Liverpool's anywhere near as friendly as people make out. Like, yeah, people smile at you on the train if you smile at them, but also I've had dozens and dozens of times I've been having a full-on meltdown somewhere in Liverpool city centre. I found out my dad had died in the Starbucks on Bold Street back in the day. It was full, and I was sobbing in the corner because I'd just found out my dad died. And one woman came over and asked if I needed a hug, and I was like, yes, please. And she gave me a hug and told me, whatever it is, it's gonna get better. And I was like, thank you. And like, my dad had just died, so it probably wasn't, but she tried, you know. It was like, as much as it's like not really on par with the experience I was having at the time, she didn't know that and she did her best, and I appreciate that. But that was one person out of like 50 that were in there, you know, like it was busy. And I've had loads and loads of meltdowns, and the only other time I've ever been approached when I've been like in distress or clearly upset or whatever in Liverpool was a man who asked me out for dinner while I was crying behind Lime Street. Like, I don't understand why people do the whole like, oh, Liverpool's so friendly. Like, no, people might smile at you, that's the best you're getting, they're not going to help you if anything goes wrong, no one gives a shit. And they don't have to. Like, you don't have to give a shit. But it's really nice when I then go to other places and just have pleasant little conversations with people. And when I look a bit lost, people are like, oh, what are you trying to find, love? And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to find Halifax swimming pools. And they're like, oh, that's closed down, you know. And I'm like, oh, it's just because the TV show filmed there. And I'm like, oh, all right, it's just up here. You know, like, it's just, all of a sudden, all of like my entire life that I've put into watching fucking British telly and figuring out how people communicate with each other and figuring out the right social cues, and you know, like I feel like that is largely why my special interest is watching TV, and why it so massively latches onto characters, is that I'm like, oh, you're teaching me how to socialise right now. I can say these things and do these things and behave in the way that you are. And then that'll make me a normal person. And not only a normal person, but a normal person that I like, because it's a character I enjoy. And all of a sudden, when I go to other places, it actually fucking works. And I'm able to just have pleasant little interactions with people without feeling like my insides are going to crawl out onto my outside because I'm just cringing so hard at myself because the way people react to me is so fucking bizarre. And, you know, when it happens all the fucking time, you are going to assume that it's you. I assume that it's me. But then I go to other places and it's not fucking me. Like, it isn't, you know? Like, winter boarded up a few times while we were in the US, because I was just like, I was talking to people, like, people in the US were just, like, you know, like, I'd be stood in the bathroom waiting for winter to finish up, and a girl would be like, oh my god, I love your top, where'd you get it? I'd be like, oh my god, I've just come here on a holiday, I bought it from Hot Topic the other day. And she'd be like, oh my god, where'd you come over here from? And, like, I was just having those conversations with people all the time in the US, and where we are, if someone speaks to me, I look at winter and I'm like, there's a situation, Winter, you speak for me. Because, like, I speak to people and they don't react in any fucking way that I would expect or imagine that they're going to react in. And it's so confusing and bizarre, and I don't understand it at all. Yeah, and I got it in the US because I was like, there's a culture difference. Like, it's just a cultural difference. Like, people start more conversations and they're like, very led conversations where I can tell like pretty much what I'm supposed to say. But I don't think it is entirely just a cultural difference, because it's literally, if I go to a different town, I find it easier to just be a person. And like, I've spent the longest time being like, well, you're not worried about like people that you're going to see again or like this or that. And I'm like, I don't feel like I am worried about that in my actual area though. I feel like it is that people don't react in the way that I expect them to. People are just like, are weird in a bad way. That was quite a long one, but I've just been thinking on it for like quite a long little time. And I always, yeah, I would just really, I want to have a shower, so I'm going to put pyjamas that I want to wear over here. But you know, like, I would really like to have realised that it was all just me and I just need to do X, Y, Z, and then it's going to work and everything's going to be alright. But I repeatedly figure out X, Y, Z, and it works everywhere else, but not in the area that I live in. That's Winters, and I want to give it back to them. But yeah, the original thing that got me onto that was how fucking annoying it is that, like, when I went to LA and I had that situation there, I was immediately like, I want to move to LA, I want to move to California, I want to move to America, I love it so much. And there's a big part of me that's still like that because I loved it, but there's also, you know, everything going on there at the minute. I wouldn't want to move there now. And also, just in general, as someone who, you know, doesn't have a proper fucking job and everything, how the shit am I moving to a different country? Like any other country, you know, it's just, it's not happening. It's not going to be a thing for me. It's very unrealistic. Whereas moving to Yorkshire sounds like it should be a bit more achievable, doesn't it? And it's like, I'll be getting really political as that's what's happening here. I just don't understand why rent prices and housing prices and everything are the way that they are. Because I was even like, maybe I would be able to eventually afford like a tiny little studio flat. Like, I just want to be in Yorkshire and have my own space. I don't care if it's little, I don't care if it's a bit shit, that's all I want. And even like crappy little studio flats anywhere in the fucking north are like £100,000. I'm like, no, it's just, they're not worth that amount of money. I don't have it obviously, but also just like, it feels like every time I have a little dream and I start researching it and be like, is this achievable? Nothing actually is. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I meant to do? Like fair enough, moving to California is a very big deal and not an achievable, realistic thing. It should be realistic for me to want to move to anywhere in Yorkshire. I prefer West Yorkshire, but I don't care, you know? So this is also a call. If you live in Yorkshire on a farm, if you've got a spare room in Yorkshire, I laugh, but like, I'm being serious. I fucking hate living here, and it's making just all the other parts of my life so much more difficult and so much more just and it's making me so much more depressed than I need to be. And just moving out of this area to anywhere in the fucking UK would help me out, to be honest with you. But I have fallen fully in love with Yorkshire. I know that it's a bit like you want to move to Yorkshire so you can go on some walks, but there's just a whole bunch of places in Yorkshire I want to explore and get around. I could easily spend like 4 years just living in Yorkshire and getting to go to all the places that I want to within the local little area and not have to think about like what I'm doing for a bit, you know? But even that just seems like super unrealistic and unachievable. Why are you borrowing into my couch? Thank you. I've got so much stuff that I need to sell as well. Like, my fucking ex-housemate got me to buy a washing machine like 2 months before we fucking moved out. So, and obviously Winter already owned a washing machine. So I now have a washing machine that I need to figure out how to sell. And obviously that means I'm probably going to put it on Facebook Marketplace, but it's going to be people in the local area that message me about it. And I've sold stuff in this area before, and we all know what Facebook Marketplace is like anyway, but especially around here, like the last time I was selling stuff that's like, I sold a guitar at one point, and I paid like £180 for it maybe like 6 months before, and people were offering me like 40 quid and acting like I was a bitch for not taking it. You know, people got genuinely aggressive over me not taking their offers. Like, it's insane. And when I tried to sell bigger things, people were constantly like, oh, can you deliver it? And it's like, no, that's why it says collection only. Like, use your eyes and read what I've fucking written. It annoys me so much. And then I have to do the actual like social part with them. And like the amount of people I had that would come and try and pick things up and start walking away, I'd be like, you need to pay me. You have to give me the money for the product. And they'd be like, oh, almost forgot. I'm like, no, you didn't. That was on purpose. Like, fuck off. It really annoys me. I hate it. But, you know, gets me a little bit of cash. I cannot live here for more than like the next year or so. I don't have any fucking idea how I'm going to be able to afford to live anywhere. And it's a little bit horrifying. And I would move tomorrow if I could. Like, most of you have been here 6 months ago when I did the last move. I don't think it was even 6 months ago. Whenever the fuck that happened. And I've moved not all that long before that. And it's been move after move. And even with all that, and even with how fucking exhausting and tiring it is and how much I hate change, if I could move to any other town in the UK tomorrow, I'd be packing up now. Like, I hate it here. And it's one of those things where I'm trying to make the best of it and trying not to like get really down about it and trying this and that. But it's literally just every time I leave the house, I think like it's not even that I think it is that something happens that makes me think like, I hate this area and I hate the people here. I really do. Like, one of my little, like, special nice happy times is that I go and feed the squirrels in the park, so I live, like, fairly close to the park. And the amount of people that literally will see me feeding a squirrel, like, the squirrel is here, and they see it, and they lock eyes, and they notice what I'm doing, and they bend down and take the collar off their dog so that the dog can run after it. Like, why? You could have just walked past. You could have... Like, I get that dogs chase squirrels, you know, like, if someone's walking past and their dog's already off the lead and it goes after the squirrel, that's gonna happen, we're all just enjoying the park. But people will literally intentionally see that I'm feeding squirrels and be like, you ready for this, lad? It's ridiculous, and it's really... That's the thing, is, like, it upsets me, and I know that everyone's gonna act like it's, like, not something to get upset about, but, like, literally, why are you just intentionally going out of your way to ruin the one tiny, like, fucking gem of happiness I have in this horrible fucking town? And, like, sometimes people don't even bother taking the fucking dog off the lead. They literally just come close enough that the dog can do it anyway while they're still on the lead. Like, it is, like, you know, like, I can tell. That's the thing, is, like, I always question things and I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's this or that. Maybe I'm taking things wrong. Maybe it's that. I'm like, no, there's plenty of people that, like, I can tell it's very unintentional, and they give me the little smile like, oh, sorry, I ruined your thing. And it's like, it's fine. You've got a dog, we're in a public park, that happens. And then I can see the faces of the people that are like, fuck you. Like, they've done it on purpose, I can fucking tell, and they kind of want me to know. I'm also pretty sure that my horrible abusive ex has moved back in with his parents, because I'm pretty sure that I've seen him walking back up towards his parents' house twice. So I now have an entire extra part of the town that I don't want to go to in case I bump into him. And I don't think he would do anything, but I also really don't fucking know, because the last time I saw him was the day that I was moving out from living with him, when I'd gone up to my bedroom to go to sleep, and he was just downstairs screaming and shouting and throwing things and making loads of noise and being fucking terrifying. So I don't want to bump into him. It's such a surprise, I know. And even when I'm not, like, specifically bumping into him, I've seen several of his friends that, like, fucking hated me for no reason. I mean, I say that. Their reason was that I was 16 and too young for him because he was 21, and it's like, I think you need to have that discussion with him and not the 16-year-old, but okay. But yeah, it's just constant horrible fucking reminders. And I'm trying my best to deal with it and get over it and to, like, go to other places and live my life and try to, like, have a fun time. But it just feels like it's getting harder and harder and harder, you know? Like, maybe it's just burnout, maybe that's all it is. In a couple of months when I've, like, rested up and relaxed and sorted myself out, I'll feel better. But at the minute, it just feels like it's getting, like, I just feel like it's grinding me down, you know? Like, it just feels like every time I leave the house, there's little bits being chipped off, and there's only going to be so many chips until there's fuck all left, you know? It's not fun. I'm not enjoying it. I hate this area. I hate living here. I hate living in this time. I hate living in this capitalist hellscape. I hate having no solid future plan and feeling like I'm living in some degree of a purgatory, because, like, even though obviously I am safe here, it's Winter's house, I am, like, everyone's... I don't need to be nearly as stressed and anxious and, like, I need a future plan as I am being, but I also, like, really don't have a future plan and feel very unsettled and very unstable. I'm not having fun. And I think as well that, like, I want to make more videos about, like, autistic living situations and stuff, because, like, I feel like the more people I talk to, the more I realise how many of us are dealing with the same thing of, like, not feeling like we have sturdy living situations and stuff. And, like, I get that, like, it is an issue for everybody right now, you know, like, there's a housing crisis and a cost of living crisis. I understand that, like, it is a big issue for everybody, but I think especially when you have a minority that struggles to work and things like that, there's extra barriers there, you know, and they're definitely ones that I'm facing. I don't know what the fuck I'm meant to do or what I'm gonna manage to figure out, and I also I don't know, I'm not having fun, I'm not having a good time. I'd like things to be very different, and I don't know how I'm going to make them any different. But I'm trying to, like, maintain hope and keep trying and keep pushing through and do the things that I enjoy and look after myself and be kind to myself. And that's all I can really ask myself to do, I suppose. And I've just got to hope that, like, things... See, that's the thing, is I often say, like, I hope things change, and people are like, oh, you have to, like, towards it, you can't just hope. And it's like, yeah, I'm working towards staying alive right now. That is the best that I can currently do. So if we manage that, we're just gonna have to hope maybe things change, you know? And I also, like, I don't feel like I'm all that in control of my life at, like, any moment. I've never felt like in control of my life. Just like, I'll just make it different, you know? Like, I don't have money. Like, that's the thing. I know everyone says, like, money can't buy you happiness, but, like, it'd get me pretty fucking close right about now, to be honest with you. You know? Like, vast majority of my struggles do come from money. You know, like, I have nice people around me. I like the vast majority of my life. If I could just live in a house in a different place and be comfortable, I would be, like, you know, 99.9% happy. I keep looking at entering those fucking Omaze things where you can win a house, because I'm like, I don't even care where it is anymore. I just want to feel stable in a living situation. You know, like, it'd be lovely if I had a little garden and could grow some food and, like, do little bits like that. But more than anything, I just want a fucking place that feels stable and that I don't hate, you know? Like, I feel like I hate this place for good reason as well. But anyway, that is me done. All that's left in here is me undies, which you don't get to see. So, wait, what are you? What's this? I didn't explain what the point of body doubling was at the start. I completely forgot. I hope you knew. If you didn't, that's what you've just had. So, yeah. Please subscribe. If you fancy it. You can like the video if you want to. These never do as well as my other ones do, but I feel like they're the ones that are perhaps most, like, visually, like, not visually, but like a lot of my videos, I hope, inspire some thoughts and get you thinking about some things and mean that, like, you can, you know, I'm giving you some shit that you can do yourself. Whereas with this, it does feel a bit more like it's an active, like, I want to help you out right in the moment, and I hope it has. If it hasn't, that's fine too, but I like doing these. I really do hope that they help some people out a little bit, because I find them very, very helpful. So as always, I'd love to know in the comments, like, what you've gotten up to while doing this, if you have any thoughts on anything that I've said, all that kind of stuff, all the normal stuff. I'm tired of talking, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I want to go. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you'll be having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.